Hello, Nabeela. How are you? Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Hi, Fatima. It's thank you so much for having me on. I'm looking forward to our conversation, and yeah, just happy to be here today.
I am so excited. So I met Nabeela on the Muslim Changemaker event, I think for the Ramadan series, right? I was
Correct.
one of the exactly. So just connected so well, like, automatically. So I was like, oh no, I have to have you on my channel because you're just starting your business journey, as an entrepreneur. And it's so good. This is the perfect time to see, like the transformation or the evolution, let's say, from being an employee to an employer. So it would bring a lot of value to people.
Well, I hope so. Like mentioned, it was definitely one that as soon as we got talking, even on that interview day, it was something that I was like, we've got the same passion and drive as them, and yeah, I just, I feel like I connect really quickly when we have these conversations. So yeah, no, very happy that we met and become very good friends in terms of my journey as an. I hope that it also other people and gives them the courage to take that step,
Yeah.
especially female as well. I think everybody, we all have our kind of the pros and cons. You have your own kind of fears and all these kind of assumptions, etc., and risks that do. But sometimes it takes that just that perseverance and that one step, that very first step, for you to understand and actually give it a go of what you're passionate about, and see where it takes you. So I hope so.
100%. Okay, so let's dive into just introducing yourself. Let us know, tell us know, let us know who is Nabeela.
Sure, no problem. So I thought, I actually at the beginning wanted to go into Islamic counseling. That was a passion that I had university years. But when I
Mm,
did come home, they mentioned that I need to have a broad, extensive experience of
mm,
around 5 to 6 years, and became qualified that route as well. So I got into state schools, independent private schools, Islamic schools,
nice.
and at the same time, I still taught, for example, the weekend classes. So from that, pretty much did that for up to 6, 7 years. And I came to understand and realize how Islamic education specifically was being delivered. Of course, we don't change the material of Islam, we don't change the material of the
Yeah.
Quran or the Sunnah, etc.
Mm,
However, in the method that it was being delivered in all these different settings and environments that I had worked in, both professionally and independently, I came to realize that there was very common problems or the common kind of barriers that were Muslim parents and students were facing when it came to Islamic education. And a couple of those problems is, for example, mass learning, the whole classroom setting environment and learning. Parents were left not satisfied, students were left, teachers were over because they aren't supported to the large classroom number that they've got.
right.
And again, a lot of parents on the other hand had bad experiences when it came to online teaching. The
Mm,
teachers weren't vetted, had the right qualifications, so they were teaching incorrectly. And lastly, of course, we've got the open kind of source, which is online materials, which isn't always regulated and monitored, and
yeah.
it's leading people towards negative ideologies and thinking that that's correct and that's what Islam is about. So just to kind of, with all those problems, I wanted to come out with a solution that
Mm,
really not only solves these problems, but I wanted to take these problems away because I wanted the main focus of Islam and Islamic education to be the main focus, where students weren't having to worry about the teacher, or they weren't having to worry about the qualification or the background of a teacher, but more so they were focused on, okay, this is what I'm learning about, why did this happen, how can I connect to it, why do we believe in it, and kind of like the back end of things.
right.
And as I mentioned, going back to the delivery mechanism, how can we improve that? Because that seems to be the problem
Mm,
between the two, sides of the educator and the students that's receiving it. So, what better way to connect people than an app? We're living in a world where technology of it all, in education, in fitness, in health, in medicine, you can name it, in politics, everything
yeah.
is pretty much technology is the forefront. You know, there's a click of a button, we've got whatever we need, whether it's drivers, food, nannies, clothes, you name it. So wanted to then explore and find out, okay, why is it that there's, you know, hang on a minute, there is no platform that, number one, as a qualified educator who's just qualified with a master's degree, I didn't feel like there was a platform that I felt like, oh, okay, with my degree, I can actually find students across the country where I will be able to do what I love, which is teaching, spread Islam alongside my normal career path, alongside my normal job, etc. So that was from my personal experience as a teacher. You know, the things that I faced. So there was no place of belonging. And again, there was not much room for growth. And especially, I would like to say within the Islamic sector, actually, it's very much male dominated still. I mean, it's a
Yes.
lot less than before, but it still is very much male dominated. So the settings that I worked in, even on weekends and evenings, etc., it was very much, you know, the management was men. And if we went with our suggestions, if we went with some suggestions to improve a method of delivery or any other suggestion, it would probably, you know, very, very unlikely for it to be recognized, unfortunately. It was kind of like, no, it was shut down. We've been doing this for centuries or decades or years and it's worked, so we're going to stick to it. You know, they weren't ready or willing to give that opportunity of growth, nor take on anything either. And I found that very restricting. You know, I've just done a degree with 7 years. It was not a walk in the park, but I want to give back now, and I really want to. You know, it bothered me to see that students weren't connecting. They, you know, I personally went and market research. I think over a year, I did research for a whole year before I started teaching Islam to really make sure that I've got the right things in correct, you know. And most of the students was like, oh, why are you here? Oh, we do this, it's just routine, it's custom. After school, mom drops me off, dad drops me off, or weekends we do this class, it's just what we do. Oh, what did you learn? It's not my time to get tested today, I'm going to get tested my work on the day before, but the rest of the days is just chill out time, you know. So it was a lot of things that there are a lot of disengagement. Parents weren't satisfied. You know, my child has been going to this place for this amount of time, but they don't know the basics, or they haven't. And that's when you're like, it's saddening because they could do, you know. It's all about how we of information to any student in life. And yeah, so that's where Teach Me Islam came about. And we are a platform now that connects qualified British educated teachers who are DBS checked, which is a background compliance system in the UK, to ensure that it's safe and, you know, they're in safe hands, with students of all ages, of all different backgrounds, with all different kind of learning requirements or needs, etc. And it's all done from the comfort and security of the teacher's home. Obviously, at the moment, it's all virtual, online. So yeah, that's where we are now. Started off very small, just in London with a very small team, and now we have a database of over 1,000 with teachers all across the UK. And again, that teachers network is around 80 to 100 at the minute. And yeah, we're just keeping up with the pace and doing what we can to make that positive difference when it comes to Islamic education.
Thank you for sharing. I mean, that's great. And this is exactly, you know, the entrepreneur DNA of like, oh, I'm seeing a problem and I'm frustrated because I don't see anybody, you know, tending to it, so let me do it. In that journey, like building, you know, Teach Me Islam app, what were your main like struggles, like it may be like 2 or 3 struggles that you've met specifically as being a Muslim businesswoman? As you said, you came into an industry that is quite male dominated, and you shared a bit of that struggle already, but now that you just, you know, created the app and then you're growing the team, like what are the main struggles that you're meeting, like personally for you as a CEO?
Sure. I think there's many. I think there's like struggles and hurdles every day. It's a bumpy road, but like you mentioned, it's how we overcome them. Every day is a learning curve for sure. But some of the things that have highlighted, and I would say has been my biggest struggle. The few, number one, as you mentioned, being a Muslim female being a female, number one, and being a Muslim hijabi on top of that, in the business and corporate world has many challenges. It's still, we definitely have to work harder. I still feel that. We still have to speak that much louder to be heard. And we still have to almost not justify, but it's also at times I did feel like I had to prove my worth, in the sense of prove the fact that this is something that is that needs to be addressed and needs a solution. And the fact that it's not a thing where I want to take away anything from these other institutes. Everybody's doing a great job. However, it's just a method of improving on top. So just the way for normal attending schools haven't shut down just because there's teachers and tuition centers around, in the same way, I'm not out there to take away or close or any of the other settings. However, I am here to service to customers, and especially our consumers, parents specifically, who are wanting that extra support and additional kind of assistance in how to support their child with Islamic education in the 21st century that we're living in. It's such a fast forward moving environment that we are in at the moment. Just being a female has its struggles, but being a hijabi, I've definitely felt that, as soon as someone, let's say a Zoom meeting, they don't see me on camera, it's a more of a easier kind of way to navigate through that meeting. The minute I turn that camera on, straight away the stereotypes, there's certain things where they're going to ask double the questions of the same thing, even though I've explained it once. And it's, I feel it, and I think a lot of other female entrepreneurs and Muslim entrepreneurs will be able to relate to that. Unfortunately, I can say that I feel as though even from where I started, I mean, it's only reaching up to 2 years now since Teach Me Islam. At the beginning, I felt that very, very much. But now I feel as though it's improving slowly but surely. We are improving where, people and the society in the corporate world are seeing women as if not equals, but also seeing the fact that, yes, they're coming up with these certain game-changing plans to benefit. It's not a stereotypical thinking of his and hers. It's more of the problem that they're raising and the solution that we're bringing together. But yeah, so that would be one of the struggles. Number two, in terms of business, I think the biggest one that I can think of is finding the right team. So recruitment, I would say, is the biggest. And I actually face this even every time we go through wanting to add a new member to the team. And we're in a place where we are looking to add new members to the team, and we will be as we grow. But yeah, recruitment is something that I'm struggling with in terms of find only for being rightly qualified for the job, but also people that have the same passion to make that positive difference, which is in alignment with my ethos. So if I see passion, drive, especially self-initiative, is something that I've definitely learned that you cannot teach somebody. There's so much that we can train a person, but for them to bring solutions or bring recommendations or suggestions back to the team or back to the management team is something that is very rare. So that's part, and even part of recruitment. I have also felt the kind of challenge of, again, the whole gender thing. So when a male comes on board and they see that it's a female CEO or it's a female manager, it automatically kind of sets a step back, whether it's ego, whether it's the just general stereotypical thinking in the corporate world. We face it, and it still does exist within business and work. But yeah, I felt that as well, where a few have taken that step or stance, where as soon as they see it's a female, it's kind of a different kind of scenario all of a sudden. But yeah, I think those are the main two struggles that we faced. I would say that is an ongoing thing that I think I don't know if we ever would super solve it, but we can grow learning from it, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think the gender thing, I decided to, for my coaching business, to focus on Muslim business women because I didn't see many people tending to us specifically. I think the business principles are all the same. However, we go through struggles that only a Muslim woman can relate. Even, a woman from a Western country cannot relate to it. So I was like, okay, let me, work with these women. And I always say, as being a female entrepreneur, you're already part of minority. And if you're a Muslim women entrepreneur, you're like a smaller minority of that. So it's definitely much more, you got to work more, as you said it. You put it so well. Work harder, speak louder, and especially if you're the head of the company, this is your idea. You got to fight much more, and this is just a reality. And I love that you're willing to do it, and inspiring other women's that don't like stop yourself from creating your own business because you're afraid that you're a hijabi or like a Muslim woman, or these struggles happens anyway, whether you're a hijabi or not. But it's we
Exactly.
know as Muslim women, we have the strength to go on, and the first step is
Yeah.
always the most difficult. So as you should, yeah, and finding the right team. When I had my startup, I was really happy that all my collaborators, my co-founders, were the
Yeah.
people for that. Because it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to spot the right people, and then you have to nurture them, because it's not like, hey,
Yeah.
you're part of the company now, like just do you. No, it's really, really, really hard, and you have to do
Yeah.
all the work. So I hear you. So let's get on to the solutions then. What were your solutions to go over these struggles? Because as you said, you're 2 years in, Teach Me Islam, going
Mhm.
strong, growing. So let us know, share us with us some of the solutions that you had.
Sure. So, nearly 2 I have now got a team, a solid team of 8 that do work in terms of the main company. So I have my CFO, CTO, and chairman and co-founder, all who are men. My CFO and CTO, they're not Muslim. So, they
Mm,
have been in the industry of technology and finance for over 30 years. So as a main, the people that sit on the board is the 4 of us, including myself, where we've collectively got over 40 years of experience in business, finance, technology, education, and much more. So I'm very, very lucky and blessed. And, the fact that I've been able to find these members who the future and the main mission, which is becoming a platform, the largest platform in of for Islamic education, but also for Islamic teachers to feel a place of belonging as well. They want to be part of, they saw the vision from the very beginning, knowing after meeting myself and me just kind of explaining and sharing my passion of wanting to teach Islam in the right way, because there's just so many negative ideologies around. So having a solid main team and board has been my backbone. I would definitely say that we collectively all share the same ethos, the same passion, the same drive, and with kind of like the experience, extensive experience on our side within the team on the board has been definitely a huge plus. In terms of the network, finding the right people, like you said, how do you know or what avenues to take to find the right people? This has definitely helped. However, also, now I've got a PR head of sales and partnerships, and also a head of operations and admin. So giving that, again, finding the right people to who share the vision of both in aspects. What I mean by both is, for example, the passion of career, so growing and giving the potential of growth,
right.
but also the fact that they match the ethical and Islamic perspective as well,
Mm, mm,
and the positive difference, and they want to make that change because they understand and they realize that this is a problem that they faced, if not their loved ones have faced. It exists around the globe, not just the UK. And yeah, I think how I've also given a good solution to that is we are very transparent with our team members and our team. We are very, very open with them, but we also try to, being a startup business and the way we are, scaling up, alhamdulillah, we've been able to offer opportunity. And that's one thing that I personally, if you meet me independently or in business, I'm a person of growth. Like, I want to always see the room for growth, whichever field or position you're in. There is always a ladder, in my opinion, anyway. So I like to
Yeah.
give that ladder. And if, the fact that I'm able to give the opportunity to people to grow for themselves, I think that's a fulfilling thing for me. But also it has definitely shown to be part of that solution, because a lot of times people don't, they say, like, my head of sales and partnerships really appreciates that, because it's like, I know I've been working in sales for 12 to 15 years, and I haven't been given that opportunity of a ladder in terms of growth, and the opportunity to grow into the further positions and places that I could be at. So I think that's also very important, to be creating trust, but also showing that, I think, supporting one another, business and independently, by giving opportunities.
Yeah. Oh, I love what you said. So that's why I just, this is so natural connecting with you, and like hearing you speak is like, oh, this is exactly, you understand me, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what happens in my brain. So that's awesome. Having a solid team again, and I think this is so inspiring, just to re, like restate. It's like, you don't have to do this alone, but
Yep.
actually you can't do it alone, and that's the thing. And understanding that, yes, I mean, in your team, even if you're a Muslim businesswoman, you don't have to have other Muslim women in your team. If there are people more experimented,
Mm.
and they're solid, and they're even not Muslim, because we're in the UK, we're in a non-Muslim country, you'll find these people and you're surrounded with these people, because again, what's the end result that we want? We want to have a successful business, and you got to
Yeah.
have these people as a support, and as a strong foundation, and to show also other people that, I'm inclusive, or like, I'm very serious. I want to be, ahead of a successful company. So, whatever it takes, building a team, I'm not going to be restrictive about like who's going to come in. The main point is having passionate people, experienced people that will take the project, as far as possible. And I'm so excited for you that you found these people, and you also you yourself, shared your vision. And I feel like, as a head of a company, it's so important to share the vision and say, this is where we're going, no matter what, this is where we're going. Are you in or out? And then also
Mm.
giving them the opportunity to grow as well, because as a self, help, personal growth, like addicts as we are, we understand that
Yeah.
it's either that or you die. And as a company, is either you grow or you die. So we gotta keep the startup mentality in whatever we do, because it's changing so fast, and especially in the IT business. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think we both agree on that one, in the same boat. And yeah, it's just important. Even like at the moment, again, I call our teachers part of our team as well, because without them, of course, there would be no.
Yeah.
Again, when I go to and recruit teachers on board at the moment, we've got around 100 that are registered with us. It's all about the same thing, to see if the passion is there, if the growth is there, and most of them share that. So the people that put their passion at their forefront, and when they're speaking with you in the interview, you can feel, and they deliver that passion, and that's what I look out for. So yeah, I think it's just super important to, as a solution, as a team that's proving and continue to grow, we continue to prove ourselves together collectively. So yeah, no, I'm very, very blessed, and Teach Me Islam is definitely one strong team, alhamdulillah.
And alhamdulillah, especially in your, I think in the industry that you chose, about, Islamic teachings, where it was quite, old school, because I mean, one of the main criticism that we meet, like people as being Muslims, is like, oh my gosh, you're like, are you still doing this? I mean, you have to be in the 21st century, you have to adapt to the, like, no,
Yeah.
there are things, that you have to teach them in a way. And that's why the teacher is so important. And you're a teacher, I'm a teacher, we know the importance of, delivering the message. The person delivering the message has to be very, special, passionate, and understanding to the student, and not delivering in a robot way. Well, this is what we're gonna learn today, Surat al-Kahf,
Yeah.
and like, and unfortunately, this is what happens. Is that so hard to find good teacher that makes it entertaining and involve the students and say, listen, this is for your own personal success. You have to, learn
Mhm.
about your religion. And we didn't have that. So I'm really happy that there are players like you guys coming in and say, listen, we're going to shake things up. Okay. And
Mhm.
we're going to do it, like our way. We think that it's the right way. And again, it's for the ummah at the end of the day. It's for the ummah. And I think
Yeah.
this is the important one, to keep in mind, is that to just grow as a community.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's the whole aspect of the main purpose of Teach Me Islam. Of course, we want to be a successful business. We've seen a gap in the market and we're growing, and we can
Right.
continue to be. And inshallah, we want to be a global platform in the coming years. But
Inshallah.
as you mentioned, it's also to give back.
Yes.
Every single tutor, like myself, every single graduate that qualifies with the degree that I did or any other similar ones in Islamic sector, all have that same passion that we want to give back. It's
Mm,
we see it as a not necessarily a burden, but it's a responsibility that we want to continue on. We want this legacy to carry on.
yeah.
As they actually also say, for example, the prophets, they didn't, they left us inheritance, and then that inheritance isn't, a big lump sum of money. However, it's, if you were to calculate it, it's this knowledge. They continued the message on, and they've now passed it on to us, which they're trusting us to also continue that legacy. So we just hopefully are, that's our main mission as a teacher's perspective as well. Most of our teachers say that when I ask, oh, why do you want to be a teacher, or why do you enjoy teaching, and why do you be a good fit for Teach Me Islam, mention is because of, as you mentioned, the holistic approaches. Like, we do everything in a different way, where main focus is we're going to do what it takes to shake things up around the surface, so that the main thing, which is the Islamic education, is loved and is understood correctly. It's learned for what it is, rather than what it's perceived as by media or anything else. So yeah, that's the mission.
I love it. It's the beautiful mission. And, we support you doing that, because your success is our success at the end of the day. So, inshallah, we give you the energy and the support that you need, guys, to grow, because it's so important. It's really, really important.
Yeah, no, I
Awesome.
completely agree. Thank you so much for that.
No, you're welcome. My pleasure. That's why I wanted you to have, to have you on. I mean, 100%. I love the, sharing these beautiful stories, because I want to stop the negativity cycle that, like Islam and Muslims online, whether, I mean, I want to be showing more positive examples, because they're out there, they exist, it's a reality, and I want to show that side of the reality, because it's much more powerful and positive, to the world. Anyway, we know that, as Muslims. So
Yeah,
this is
exactly,
this is
exactly.
this is it this is it this is simple. Getting back to you, and so you started Teach Me Islam 2 years ago. If we had a superpower and we could go back in time, bring you, to the Nabila of 2 years, what would be
Yeah.
one advice you would give her? It can be like personal or professional.
Oh, that's a very good question. It's making me think. What would myself 2 years ago? Well, I would actually say to believe in myself, and that it's to go for it. So, I mean, at the beginning, I'm sure everybody does have the doubts, and kind of concerns if they should go ahead or not, because it's not a small decision. So I think I would say to, believe in myself more, given me the confidence. I mean, I have believed in me, but yeah, I did have the moments where self-doubt was there, and that kind of little bit of confusion, I would say. So yeah, I think business wise, I would believe in myself a little bit more, give myself a little bit of the credit where it's due. I think I'm still learning on that, which family and friends would also vouch for. I'm kind of my own worst critic, as they say, but I'm learning to. There was a saying that I came across in a talk that I heard over the last year, and it said your loudest own cheerleader. And that actually really struck. And I thought, you know what? Yes, because we know we're always seen as your own worst critic. I mean, as much as that's okay to a certain extent,
Right.
as motivation, we need to also give ourselves the credit where it's due. So I think, yeah, I would tell myself to believe in myself a little bit more,
Mm.
and that would have given me the more, so more of a confidence, solid push to continue growing. Personally, I think I would tell myself to I think it would be personally, it would be about friendship, or in terms of relationships in general. I'm a quite I kind of like to put people first and myself last. But yeah, I think, do you, whoever sticks will stick, whoever goes, they weren't meant to be there. So yeah, learned that now, learning it as well.
This is super nice. Okay, I just the connection is not that good, so I'll have to mute and take off the camera. So like, if you have it lag, I can just edit it at the end. But I love
Yeah, no,
these.
it's fine, not to worry.
I love these. Okay, I'm just gonna repeat it because I'm a good listener. And we have the first advice would be, believing in myself. And I'm asking this question, underlying it because it's the lesson learned, of the growth. Because we know that we can't, go back in time. And
Yeah.
yes, we grow, we evolve, we have a different brain, but it's the lesson learned. What did I learn through these, 2 years of going for it, of I saw that I wasn't believing in myself. So now I would like, oh yeah, confidence is super important, especially if you're like a businesswoman.
Mhm.
And putting yourself first, that goes together, right? So because you're the head of a company, and when you started building a team, you know that you're not alone anymore. You have to care for other people, and it takes a lot of energy, a lot of time. So you got to be the strong foundation because you're the head of the company. So I love that you've learned these lessons, I mean, so quickly. And there will be very, very helpful in the long term for you and for your success. So as a coach, I'm super excited for you.
Oh, thank you. I mean, are there any other tips that you would also give me to embed? Please do.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think, as a head of a company, especially as women, because we want to please everybody, and if you're the quiet one, I'm already, like super loud, and let's go for it and let's do it. But if you're a quiet one, I think if you have this own personal belief, and you share it, you show it to other people, they will start, believing in you, in your mission. So again, you got to think as a head of a company that everything that you feel, that the energy that you're just going to project is going to be felt, to everybody. So like,
Yeah.
how do I show up, like every morning? How do I show up, like personally? And how can I take care of myself so I can show up, at my best?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's going to be very hard, and you saw it. There are so many struggles as when you're building a business, so many highs and lows. But that's why you have to take care of yourself, surround yourself with, like positive people, nurturing people that will have your back whenever you feel these doubt and fears, because they always be here, right? So it's
Yeah.
important to have these people that will call you on your bullshit, let's say, very lovingly.
Yeah.
But it's super important
Yep.
because we kind of like, we're in a box. If we stay in our head, we're kind of in a box, so we can't see, what happens
Mhm.
at 360 degrees. So having people welcoming feedback has been one of the main, I think, skill that helped having successful CEOs. When I was reading, a study on confidence and also awareness. So you got to have internal awareness, like, okay, what's going on in my head? Okay, what are my feelings? How can I manage my emotions? But you also have to have external awareness, meaning how people see me, like, because we, like, most of the time we know it in the communication, like at the communication level, I told you that. Yeah, but I didn't hear that, I heard something else. So external awareness is all about understanding how people see you, how is your communication. So you got to welcome feedback, you got to have open communication with your team. And I think it's super, super important to not lose sight of that. I would add that. But you're doing great so far, I think.
No, thank you so much, and I completely actually agree with everything you've mentioned as well. So definitely keep that on mind. And so yeah, thank you so much. Lovely.
Awesome. Yay. Glad that I could help. So I would be like part of the success of Teach Me as well. Don't forget
Yes,
about me.
exactly. No, no, don't. I don't think we can, especially this. Yeah, we've made a mark now, and it's going to be, YouTube to keep that stamp there.
Oh, yeah, I
But
love
yeah, no,
it.
thank you so much.
This is
Really,
so
really
cool.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to add, coming at the end of the conversation, do you want to add something that I haven't mentioned, or you just wanted to share with us and let us know, where we can find, where we can download Teach Me Islam app?
Sure. I mean, I had a message to say to the world. I would say if you've got a passion and you've got something that you would like to do, definitely go for it. Give it your best shot. I would be an advocate for saying that as long as you've got there and you enjoy it and you've got something inside of you that really wants to kind of give back and put out in the world, definitely give it your shot, because otherwise you're going to think what if for a very long time. In terms of Teach Me Islam, thank you so much for not only having us on, but hopefully you've got a bit more understanding of who we are, what our mission is, and we welcome everybody. So it's not just for Muslims, we have non-Muslims that are also studying our programs with us, because these programs are structured in a way that it welcomes everybody, anybody that wants to understand Islam, anybody that wants to, learn how to read Arabic, and other things as well. We've got lots of new, inshallah, programs that will be added, new into to also add. So we've got the education sector, but we're looking to add new services to the platform as well, inshallah. I think by the end of this year, actually, as well, that's serving specifically the Muslim community, just because, again, there's little available out there for us. But yeah, again, we will welcome all. We are, main thing is uniting everybody under one umbrella, no matter your background, race, what walk of path you've taken, but you could feel a place of belonging with Teach Me Islam family. And yeah, you can find us. Do give us a follow on social media, Instagram, Facebook at Teach Me Islam app. And yeah, you can check out our website or our app by downloading it for free on App Store or Google Play. Just type in Teach Me Islam and we should be there. Thank you.
And as a real show of support, I will also make a video about, me downloading the app and using it, because I've been using it, Baina TV app so far. So now that I had you on, gotta try Teach Me app, like teach really,
Yes,
show it to the
yes,
world and show
exactly.
the person, like the personal experience of, like, because it's so important to have, Islamic education at any age. So if you didn't have it when you're younger, it's never late. This is something that you keep learning. And I see my mom, I mean, she started, I think, 2 years ago to really go deeper into it. So there is no age,
Yeah.
no limit. And I think you guys bringing it, on the phone, it's like we have it every day with us. You have no excuse
Mhm.
to not do it, right, and learn. And the fact that you're choosing, the right teachers and the right program, it's not like, you teach the right thing about Islam. And I think that's super
Yeah.
important. That's the main fear, I think, that people shared with you during your research. And also have it. So thank you so much.
Mm.
I'll do it.
No,
I'll
most
do it.
welcome. Yes, please do. I'm excited. And again, hopefully, like mentioned, please do let me know in terms of your feedback, your reviews, how you
Yes.
felt it, and so on. But yeah, we are, inshallah, we'll be upgrading our full app by the end of this year as well, which is another exciting milestone for us, inshallah.
Inshallah. Yay. Awesome. Nabeela, I want to thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing that it's possible. And I love what you said, follow your passion and don't limit yourself, because we're such amazing beings. And if you follow, our creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is all about expansion, is all about growth. So don't let, your your own limiting beliefs, or just people around you telling you that it's, it's not possible, you can't do it because you're a woman, you're a hijab, you're a Muslim. Now this is just, BS, let's say, because it's really, really angers me when I hear that, because
Yeah.
it's not true. And we know as Muslim women that we have the integrity, we have the strength to really be business owners and to bring, success to a company, and also success to people. So I think that's what differentiate, female entrepreneurs from male entrepreneurs, that we have our nurturing side, that we care about the people, as much as we care about the company. So it's powerful, and we need more of us out there to have a healthier community, generally. So I want to thank you so much for what you do. Please download Teach Me Islam app. Again, it's for Muslims and non-Muslims. If you want to learn about Islam, it's so important. Don't look at these videos or like the news. If you want a reliable resource, go and download the app. And Nabeela, I want to thank you so much, and I hope to have you on for season 2 of this, Muslimah Entrepreneur podcast.
I would love to be. We are on, definitely, inshallah. Yay. Thank you so much, sister.
You're welcome. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Take care. Bye.